The general definition of treaty is pretty clear: a formally concluded and ratified agreement between states. Wikipedia makes it even clearer. A treaty is a recorded international agreement between sovereign states or other subjects of international law. So clearly, a treaty implies some sort of transnational status. However, in Australia, when it comes to Indigenous affairs, we like to muddy the waters. In November last year, SBS reported, "These words cannot disappear. Victoria's treaty with First Nations peoples signed into law." Now, that doesn't sound like an international agreement to me. On the Victorian government's website, they've simply ditched the standard definition. Under What is Treaty, they claim, "A treaty is an agreement between two or more parties." Guess what? A contract is an agreement between two parties too. When I sign a contract with the local gym, does that count as a treaty? The only difference is I can cancel my gym membership. Victorians are pretty much stuck with this one. Basically, Victoria has decided that citizens in the same state, equally Australian and equally Victorian, now need treaties to coexist. Isn't this a disaster for legal equality and social cohesion? Or are we just comfortable being divided into two distinct legal classes based entirely on racial lines? Well, if you thought that wasn't enough, the ABC reported just recently, First Nations leaders call for federal treaty and truth-telling to follow Victoria's lead. Here's some truth-telling. Australians already said no. In the 2023 referendum, the country overwhelmingly rejected the Indigenous voice. And let's not forget, the voice was just the first of the 3 pillars requested by the Uluru Statement from the Heart. The other 2 are treaty and truth. If Australians didn't want the voice, why would they want a treaty? A treaty with their own fellow citizens? It seems absurd. It was reported that around 350 First Nations leaders, elders and advocates gathered in Melbourne to call on the federal government to commit to a national treaty. They argued that state treaties, while important, are simply not enough. Only the federal government has the power to deal with certain things. I don't know exactly what, but I guess things like the printing of money, border security, or who gets to drive the M113 armoured personnel carriers. The ABC's elder-in-residence, Jackie Huggins, who helped lead the Melbourne summit, made it clear that some states just aren't progressive enough for her liking. She told the crowd, "As we know, the treaty has been active and alive here in Naarm, Melbourne. For us that don't have treaties, that have hostile governments, such as Queensland, we're here to gain some insights to take back to our people in terms of the day that we get a progressive government. We're saying to the Albanese government, it is time to expedite a process towards treaty and truth-telling now." Yes, in this new landscape, if you don't agree with a treaty, you're not just the opposition, you're hostile. It's a binary choice. You're either a progressive treaty signer or you're the enemy. But don't worry, she offered this reassuring message. "We don't want your backyards. All we want is peace and justice and acknowledgement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in this country, a long overdue recognition of our history and our cultures." So yeah, your backyard is safe. From what I understand, they just want some Crown land. You know, the parks, forests and other public spaces where every Australian used to have the exact same legal rights. The CEO of Common Threads, the organisation that organised the summit, Larissa Baldwin-Roberts, shown here on the right, said, "At a time when far-right voices are trying to divide communities, wind back progress and create fear, we need a clear and ambitious national pathway towards justice and healing. Justice cannot stop at state borders. The federal government holds significant power and responsibility, and it must step up. Australians overwhelmingly believe that there is a wrong to be righted." Do we? Hasn't the wrong well and truly faded away? I mean, none of us alive today are the ones that committed the historical crimes. Aren't we all just citizens now of this country? Aren't we all equal? The moment we start signing treaties with one another based on each other's ancestry or DNA results is the moment we admit that we're not one. We're completely divided, and we're making it permanent by institutionalizing that division into our very laws.